Hello, Andrea St. Amand here. What is a calling? Let's talk about what a calling is. I heard something a few days ago, which is what prompted this video, that a friend of mine who was doing some channeling work was wondering what a light worker was. And she's like, let me dig into that a little bit. So the answer that came to her, which is so beautiful, is what is a light worker? A light worker is someone who is called to turn inward to heal themselves. So most people think about healing, you're healing other people, but a light worker is somebody who's called to turn inward to heal themselves. And if you keep on that journey, then you start healing other people. So I started thinking, then, well, what's a calling? And in my experience, a calling is that thing that when it starts screaming at you, it's not just a scream, then we should actually not call it a calling, it's a screaming. But there's that thing inside of you that you're going to get on a path, come hell or high water, and you're going to do it right now. It's that thing you cannot ignore, and you can't say no to it anymore. And you're going. You have no idea where it's going to lead you. You have no idea how you're going to get where you're going. You know it's going to be life-changing, and you go do it anyway. A calling is that thing where you're like, I might fail. I might totally fail. I might not, but I can't help it. I have to do this. And a calling, a big thing I want to say to you guys a lot, because I hear a lot of people say, I don't know what my life's purpose is, or I don't know if I can do my life's purpose. Well, the bad thing about a calling is that it does not come with an instruction booklet. It does not give you the where, when, and how, or a roadmap. So that's how you know it's a calling. It's deep in your gut, and you're like, I've got to do this thing no matter what happens, no matter what it looks like later. And a calling shows up in so many different ways. A calling is, I think I just made up this definition just now, it's that thing that it turns us toward our light. It turns us toward our divinity. So sit with that for a minute, because when we turn toward our own light, when we turn toward our own divinity and our own healing, we might bring darkness and pain to other people around us, because it might mean that we have to leave a situation. So a calling isn't always, I'm going to go off on a spiritual path. A calling could be, I can't take this job anymore, because maybe that job is keeping you from your divinity. A calling could be, I can't take this relationship anymore, and you have to break up with someone. It really might be what it looks like. A calling might be that you have to say goodbye to friends, or you have to draw boundaries with friends, or that you have to say even goodbye to your family, or draw really hard boundaries with with your family, which is going to not go over well in society at all. And it's definitely not going to go over well with your family. But that's a calling. That's something that you know you have to do deep in your gut, and it's going to turn you closer to your own divinity. So when that happens, you realize, though, you've been hearing that voice calling you for years, sometimes decades, right? So why do we not listen to our calling? Why do we not listen to that voice that is calling us? And I'll just give you my personal experience. I think it's because when we start to doubt it when it first comes, we kind of hear a whisper, but we doubt it. We start arguing and rationalizing. So for me, it was really with practicing law and a job. I had a great job, and yet I really had a spiritual calling, but I had a lot of doubt. And I know so many people watching this have the exact same concerns with the spiritual or energy work part. The first thing that's going to come up is like, well, yeah, I've got some experiences, but they're all random, and I don't think I can control it. I'm never going to be like good enough, or I don't have the ability to actually control what I'm experiencing. So that's the self-doubt that kicks in. And I went through the exact same thing, because that was before I knew you can get teachers and learn skills and learn, find your path just like you do with everything else. But that was the first thing. And I remember Googling in my law office when I needed a break from clients, which was a lot of the time, that like looking for teachers, looking for online teachers, and I just didn't, there was nobody out there that I felt like I could connect with. So that just probably wasn't the right time for me. I needed other experiences. Well, the next set of experiences that came along was I started working with lawyers who had a calling to be lawyers. They really had a deep calling to represent people and to help people through the justice system. And the more I experienced their calling, the more I knew that that wasn't my calling. Mine was something really different. The first time I saw an advertisement for my Akashic Records teacher to learn the Akashic Records, I dropped everything. I didn't care what the price was. I didn't care where that path was leading me. I was like, this is my thing. This is my calling. And I felt the same way that when I found my mediumship teacher and then other mentors along the way. I just couldn't. I couldn't stop. Like I couldn't say no to it anymore. And that calling, of course, had come a long time ago. It just takes time to get everything lined up. But the calling too, my cat is sitting on my notes here. Sorry, excuse me. The calling too is going to make you do crazy stuff. I mean, it's going to be life changing. So I think that's another reason we sometimes don't listen to it, because we know there's going to be a big upheaval. And then once you start on the path to your calling, all the self-doubt kicks back in again. So I know it. I've been there. It comes circling back around with every new thing I learn, and yet I do it anyway. That's a calling. And I do believe, as many of you might as well, that everybody on the planet has the ability to be intuitive, to be psychic, to communicate spiritually, but not everybody has the calling. They just don't. And in fact, I work with a lot of clients who don't have the calling to be an energy worker. They actually want to, actually, I should say that differently. They do want to be an energy worker, but they want to still be a lawyer, or they want to still be a law enforcement officer. They love their job, but they want to understand the skill set that I have. They want to understand energy. They want to understand intuition. They want to understand what's going on in a room so they can actually interact with their clients, with their judges, with the criminals they're arresting. Some people are healthcare workers, and so they really want to understand the energy going on with somebody who's in distress and in a mental health thing. That's their calling. So they'll learn skills because they're going to their calling. So I see too, the last thing I want to say is that a lot of people don't know what their calling is, but they know they have a calling to something. And that's so fair. Just get on that path and go somewhere. The first calling, and I see posts like this in the group, and I love it when I see posts like this, is when people are called towards self-healing. They're being called to, like, I know I need to do something with certain people in my life or a certain energy. So start following that calling. Just start on your path. You're not going to have all the answers when you start, and trust me, you're not going to have all the answers even when you get further down your path, because the last thing on this planet I thought I would actually start doing was having access to an archangel and speaking to him with my readings. So you never know where your calling is going to lead you, but the point is, just get on that path to healing, on that path to healing yourself, so you can bring all of your light and love to other people. And I will tell you, even just today, I woke up this morning, my throat was so sore I couldn't speak, but I have a calling, and I wasn't going to cancel any of my readings because I felt like I had to do a connection. Somebody needed me, and that's a calling. That's a calling when you get on Facebook on Facebook Live and you're sick as a dog because I really wanted to talk with you guys. That's a calling. You can't stop me. So yeah, when you all are ready, when anybody is ready to really do some healing, like deep healing, or you need support in drawing some boundaries, you need support in extricating yourself out of a situation, you need support in really getting into your divinity and starting on your own path, or you're ready to start learning your own skills, please reach out to me, because bringing more light and bringing our own selves out of our own darkness and into the world is really what the world needs now more than ever. Lots and lots of light and love. All right. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to me. Bye.